My name is Marta Alto. Pati Palmer and I are going to show you the world of jeans. We've done a lot of experimenting and a lot of research to figure out how jeans are sewn and a lot on how to fit them. So we are going to present jeans for real people. The first step really was research, ready to wear, because there are jeans all over the place. All sorts of companies say these jeans will fit you, but it depends on you on how they fit. So I still haven't found the perfect pair of ready-made jeans, and therefore the venture to see if I can make them for myself.
Hi, I'm Pati Palmer, and I've been designing patterns for McCalls for a very long time. And in the last number of years, I have probably done about 7 jeans patterns for McCalls. But now that jeans are so popular, Marta and I have decided to really get into the jeans fitting. I want to talk a little bit about what jeans fit really is. This has come up so many times during our workshops. And I think some of our perception is that it should be very tight. So on the cover of the DVD, we have this lovely fit in the back where it's just really cupping under and all that. Well, part of that is because she has a high, full derriere. It has not dropped. This means she's probably under 30, and she just fills it out beautifully. But we've come to the conclusion that you can't get this fit unless you also have this body. Okay, Marta, you've got your pattern all ready to fit. So what I want you to do is I want you to put it on the right side of your body, because we've got the tissue pinned that way with right sides out. And I want to have you spread your legs a little bit. And this is really important if you have really full thighs, which you don't, but that allows you to get it up in the front and the back. And I like to start at the back, because I find that people generally have a harder time getting it up where it needs to be in the back. Now we've got the tissue marked with where the 1-inch waist seam is. This is a Palmer Plench pattern, and that's why there's the 1-inch waist seam. Okay, I've pulled Marta's pantyhose up, and now I can really see how far it is hanging down from her body, and it's 3/4 of an inch to an inch, but I think I'll have her shorten the pattern 3/4 of an inch. When you shorten the pattern, you shorten it all the way around front and back the same amount so that the side seams will still match up. The other thing that I'm seeing is in the back, it's pretty full right here, and I want the side seam to end up at the side. If we just took the seams in out here, the side seam would move quite a ways to the front. So I'm going to have Marta take this off and take 1 inch out, following the lines that are printed on the Palmer Plench pattern, or drawing lines that are parallel to the grain line 1 inch apart. And she's going to take this tuck here and in the yoke part as well. Okay, Marta, you need to go alter. And I'm just going to get a couple little pieces of tape here, and I'm going to tape those dart tucks out of the tissue. And that makes the yoke just a little bit more curved, like her body there. And then I'll tuck it underneath. Marta also has, I think you're higher on this side than on this side. Mm-hmm. So what I'm going to do, she really needs more length here. If I pulled it up to where the waist marking is, it would hike the whole pant up unnecessarily. So we need to give her a little more length. So I'm going to grab a pen, and I'm going to mark a new waist stitching line at the bottom of the elastic. And she'll have it for both sides. If she doesn't need it on the other side, she can just pull it up under the tissue.
We're ready to sew the jeans. I am going to change the sewing sequence from the pattern directions. It's partly to make it easier for our camera work, because I don't want to switch from regular thread to top stitch thread back and forth as frequently as the pattern has you do it. So I'm going to sew the seams I can with the sewing machine first. Then I'm going to switch to top stitching thread and sew a whole bunch, because actually most of it's done with top stitching thread. And then we'll come back. So the first thing to do is to sew the pocket facings to the fronts. And there's, this is just a regular 5/8 inch seam. When I come to the curve, I like to shorten the stitch length. It allows me to trim a little closer, and you get a better finish on the curve. So I'm going to go down to 1.5. Also, if you use a shorter stitch length, your curve will be neater. Now we'll do the top stitching. And to make it easy for me, so I have a guide, I'm going to take my Scotch Magic Tape and lay it right up against the fold, and then take another strip right next to that. So I have a 1-inch wide guide. And then top stitch the zipper in place.
Okay, Marta, we've got the back sewn in, but I want to get everything in place under the elastic and pinned in place. And remember, again, denim doesn't hang fabulously, so let's turn toward the camera. You want to tweak it a little bit so it doesn't stick to you. And you are a little bit lower on this side. So when we do your waistband fitting, we'll try to remember that we're going to pull them up a little bit there, and we're going to pull them down a little bit here. So I think we're good to go in sewing the side seams now. Turn around one more time, all the way around. Stop for a second. Yep, looks good. Now, do you want them any tighter? Or they feel okay to you?
So.
Okay. I think right at the very top, you might want to take them in a little bit because I don't think you're going to be able to ease the denim too well into the waistband. Okay, turn around again. Okay, I think we're good to go.
Great. Okay, I've been putting my carriers on to my waistband, and I found at the center back it wears better and holds your belt better if you put two, one on either side of the center back rather than just one at the center back. So that's what I've done on all my jeans. So I just have one carrier left to go, and I'm using that same little narrow zigzag that I used before. And I've been cutting them about a 1/2 inch longer than the top of the waistband, and then just tucking that under. You are going through lots of layers here, so now I need to mark where to put the button. So I'm just going to overlap the zipper there, nice and firm because the button will pull on it. And I'm putting a pin through right at the front of the buttonhole. Then the little tack part, the pound-on button, has a little tack part and a button part. And this will go into here, and that's all there is to putting on this button. So the hardest part is just punching this tack through. And put this on. It will click, and then just turn it over and pound. And you've sewn on your button. Quick and easy.
Okay, so Amanda, when she was in my class workshop this summer, the pant workshop, she was, believe it or not, the hardest person I had to fit. And part of it is because she's so tiny, and I thought, oh, she'll just be so easy. But Amanda is a runner, right? Mm-hmm. And she has full front thighs. And that just tricked me. And the whole 4 days of the workshop, I really didn't feel like I had gotten the fit right with Amanda, but I think we finally figured it out when we added a whole bunch to the front inseam. So now we're going to do jeans, which are more fitted. And I'm going to measure her, turn to the side so they can see the fullest part of the hip. And a snug measurement, she comes out at 36.5, which is just a little bit over 12. But what I want to point out with Amanda, because she's got the full front thighs, a lot of people think, well, you've got to measure your derriere and include your thighs, she would be a 16 if I did that. The rule of thumb is to measure the fullest part of the hip above the crotch line, because with the thigh area, you can let it out here as well as on the inseam.
Okay, here's Amanda in her finished jeans. I've just been sewing madly, and they look great. She says I can actually move in them. Really fun. Terrific.
Look at that. Good work Marta did.